Hi everyone, welcome to meditation class. I'm so happy that you're joining me today. My name is Claudia Samuelson. If we haven't met before, today is a very special class. It's called Inversion Meditation. So inversions in yoga are yoga poses that anytime your head is higher than your heart. So obviously, normally in our daily lives, our head is higher than our hearts. So these poses are to put you in an opposite state. And they have some really cool benefits to them, and that's why we're doing them today. So some of these benefits include they can help eliminate toxins and improve your immune system, which are really great things to be doing right now. They increase blood flow to your brain and helps to get more oxygenated blood to your brain. That has numerous benefits that I'll get into in a minute. They stimulate your nervous system, which helps to calm your mind. It helps to strengthen your back and your core muscles, which kind of depends on which pose you're doing, whether it's an active inversion or a passive inversion, but I will show you each of those today. And it overall improves your balance and posture because you are strengthening your back and core muscles within the poses. So these poses not only have great physical benefits, but also mental and emotional benefits. So for one, you'll feel less stressed after doing them. That kind of ties back into stimulating your nervous system, which calms your mind, and then it kind of releases stress, because if you're thinking about your body, you're not thinking about whatever stress you need. So that endorphins boost that I just talked about will make you feel happier, give you a little bit of dopamine, kind of similar to how a runner's high works. You may feel more creative afterwards. You'll probably feel more alert and awake, and hopefully it'll help build your confidence and make you feel more courageous. So I will get into those latter two things later into class, as you will see a variety of different inversions today. This class will be more of a movement-based class. I know most of the time we're sitting here meditating for around 30 minutes, and while that's great, I have said in the past that meditation doesn't have to be 30 minutes, and that's what we're going to see today. We're going to be moving into poses and noticing how our mind and body feel in that pose at that time. So it's only going to be a couple minutes of single pointed focus, but it's still going to be a meditative state, maybe just not as deep, but it still is a meditation. This is just going to be more of a movement meditation, which I hope you guys like, because we don't get to do those very often. So for today's class, you're going to need a couple props. One of them is going to be a block or something similar to a yoga block. I recommend either a firm pillow, maybe two pillows stacked on top of one another, or you could get a blanket, towel, etc., something like that you can fold up in kind of a block shape. It doesn't really matter on particulars, just something that can act as a yoga block for today's class will work perfectly fine. Another thing that you'll need during class today is a wall. So have a wall near you that doesn't have anything breakable on it, like picture frames or something, a wall that you don't mind putting your feet on. And I know that sounds weird, but we'll get into that later, I promise. If you don't have like a blank wall, like a closed door will work just as fine. Just make sure it's a door that like actually shuts, not one of those you can like pull open, because you don't want to fall through that. So to get started, we're going to start in fish pose, and we've done fish pose before. You're going to have your block or your improv block, place it underneath your shoulder blades at about this level, and just lay down over it. So make any adjustments that you need, and once you're comfortable, lay all the way down. Reach your arms out into a T or a cactus shape, and just relax over the block. I'm going to sit up so I can talk to you, but you stay laying down. Take a moment to notice how your mind and your body feel right now. You can let those thoughts go. Bring your awareness to your breath and appreciate how deeply you can breathe in this pose. On your next inhale, feel your low belly expand. Exhale, feel your low belly compress. Inhale, feel your belly expand. Exhale, feel it compress. On your next inhale, feel your belly and your rib cage expand. Exhale, feel your belly and your rib cage compress. Inhale, expanding. Exhale, compressing. On your next inhale, feel your belly, ribs, and upper chest expand. Exhale, feel your belly, ribs, and upper chest compress. Inhale, expanding. Exhale, compressing. Take 2 more full deep breaths where you are. When you're finished, bend your knees, put your footprints on the mat, reach your arms down by your sides, and sit up so you can remove the block from underneath your shoulders and put it off to the side. We'll use it again later. Lay all the way back down onto your back. Hug your knees in towards your chest. You can rock from side to side or draw circles with your knees. Now release your feet back onto the mat. Keep your knees bent, but place your arms down by your sides. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, tuck your tailbone and lift your hips up as high as you can off the mat. We're only going to hold this for a breath, so on your next inhale, lower your hips back onto the mat. Again, inhale really deeply. Exhale, tuck your tailbone, lift your hips as high as you can off the mat. Maybe you go a little bit higher this time. Inhale, release back down. All right, for this third round, we're going to hold it. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lift your hips as high as you can. You can breathe while you're up here. If you want to go a little bit higher, interlace your fingers underneath your back and roll your shoulders together a little bit. Lift your hips a little bit higher. So you're still squeezing your inner thighs. Gaze goes straight up towards the ceiling. Don't turn your head. And breathe. If it's a bit tough to breathe, untuck your chin. If it's actually difficult to breathe, please lay flat down on your back and relax. While you're holding this, notice how your head, neck, and shoulders feel. This is a minor inversion that's active. One more deep breath. Exhale, release your hands if you have them clasped, and then lower your hips all the way onto the mat. Great job. Hug your knees in towards your chest. You can rock from side to side. Maybe draw circles with the knees. Now begin to rock front and back from tailbone to neck. Can you rock all the way into a tabletop pose? So in tabletop pose, your hands are underneath your shoulders, knees are underneath your hips. As you inhale, drop your belly, sway your back, look up. Exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone. Inhale, sway your back, look up. This is called cow pose. Exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin. This is called cat pose. Inhale into cow. Exhale, round your spine into cat. Inhale, back into a neutral spine. Tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back to downward facing dog. So in down dog, you look like an upside down letter V. Bend one knee, press the opposite heel into the mat, and walk it out a little bit. This will help to warm up your hamstrings. Your gaze is going back towards your toes or towards your knees. This pose is also an inversion. Your heart is a little bit higher than your head right now. Notice how this one is strengthening your shoulders and your back muscles. Inhale, lift onto your tippy toes. Exhale, sink your heels towards the mat. From here, keep your low body where it is and lower onto your forearms. So your hips are still high in the air, but you're on your forearms now. This is called dolphin pose. And here is another active inversion. Your gaze is looking back towards your toes. Notice how your head, neck, and shoulders feel here. It's a little bit different from the bridge pose we did at the beginning of class. One more deep breath. Exhale, bring your knees to the mat, sit back onto your hips, and child's pose. Take a couple deep breaths in child's pose and notice how your mind and your body feel. We've done a couple inversions so far. We haven't held them very long, but just notice, take inventory for a moment. On your next inhale, sit up onto your heels and watch me. So I want to show you a really active inversion. It's a headstand, and headstands are more challenging. They're not really for beginner yogis. So if you have a somewhat regular practice, meaning you practice yoga about once a week, you should be able to do a headstand or attempt to do a headstand. If this is your first attempt at yoga in general, yoga meditation in general, I wouldn't recommend trying this pose today. I recommend you building up some more strength in particular yoga postures. If you're athletic in another way, you should be able to attempt a headstand as well. However, you're doing this at your own risk, and it's your responsibility to follow my guiding cues. So just keep that in mind. This is where your wall comes in. So you can either practice along with me after I finish demonstrating first, or you can come back to this video at another time and try it out on a different day. So before you practice headstand, if this is your first time attempting a headstand, please watch me first and then do it on your own, okay? So headstands are really fun. This is where the courage and the confidence are going to come in, and I'll talk to you about those again after I show you. So to do headstand, dolphin pose is a great lead into headstand. Again, you're doing this against a wall or against a closed door. So facing your wall, you're going to put your forearms back onto the mat. And how you measure your forearm distance is like this. You grab opposite elbows, and then you keep your elbows where they are on the mat, and just clasp your hands, make like a basket weave with your hands, right? And this is what goes on the ground. So come onto your forearms, measure real quick, tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back to that dolphin pose. And I'm showing you from the side so you can see my alignment, but you're going to be up against a wall. So please use your wall. Place the crown of your head, the top of your head, on the mat just inside your hands. Your hands are going to be on the mat with your head to help with support. Now walk your toes as close to your body as you can and engage your core here. If you want to stay here, this is perfectly fine. You don't have to go past this point. This entire practice is about observing your body in each pose. If you want to do more, see if you can lift up one set of toes and maybe the other set of toes and kind of hold yourself in a ball. Another way to get up is to lift one leg, and then maybe you can lift both legs.
So if you've gotten both legs straight up in the air, remember you have a wall behind you. So you can put your feet on the wall, that's okay. But don't use it as an excuse to get lazy. You're still squeezing your core, squeezing your thighs together. Your body was made to be stacked straight up and down, and that's exactly what you're doing here, except now you're in the opposite direction as what you normally are. To come down, split your legs and bring down one foot and then the other foot, slowly with control,
and then relax back into child's pose. So you'll lay in child's pose until your breathing rate and your heart rate come back to normal, and then you can sit up and do some other poses. Again, make sure you practice headstand against a wall, especially if you've never done it before. So the reason this pose gives you a confidence boost and helps you feel more courageous is because this pose requires both of those things. You have to be courageous because sometimes it's a little scary doing a headstand for the first time. Whether it's one of the more extreme poses of a handstand or a headstand, it's kind of scary for your first attempt. And courage is not fearlessness. It's not the absence of fear. Courage is having the strength to overcome your fears. And so from overcoming your fears is what gives you confidence. And it's not like an arrogant sort of confidence, because in order to do these poses again, you have to be humble. You can't attempt to do a handstand or a headstand for the first time and think that it's going to be perfect and you're going to get right into it, because chances are you probably aren't going to be perfect the first time, and that is perfectly okay. It's normal. So you have to approach it with a sense of humbleness, but then after you practice over and over again, you realize that you can do this and that your body is capable of this, and that's the kind of confidence that comes with being able to do a handstand or a headstand. And that's why I wanted to show you this more advanced pose today. I wanted to give everybody something to work towards. It's a really fun pose, and if you're a beginner and you don't feel comfortable doing it yet, that's okay. Get stronger, practice more yoga, practice other forms of exercise. Once you feel strong enough to do it, start practicing and trying to get into that headstand. If you're more advanced and you haven't attempted a headstand or a handstand before, go for it. I know you guys can do it, all of you watching this. So this is a great inversion to try out if you haven't before or it's been a while. Let's all meet in a forward fold. This is just going to be a normal forward fold, like so. Your feet are hip width distance apart and your body's hanging over your legs, like so. You can keep some bend in your knees, don't worry about having them locked out. Your hands can be resting on the mat, or if you're up here, that's perfectly fine too. Again, keep some bend in your knees. Wherever you are is perfectly fine. Rock from side to side, maybe front and back. Grab opposite elbows and sway. This is a pretty common inversion to do in most yoga classes. But even though you've probably attempted this before, notice how your head, neck, and shoulders feel in this pose. Notice how this helps to relax your back. Feel your spine elongate. You may notice that it's kind of more difficult to breathe. That's because all of your guts are resting on your diaphragm right now. But still try your best to breathe as deep as you can. Inversions are another way to strengthen the diaphragm muscle, which will help you take full and deep breaths whenever you're standing up straight. Now put some more bend in your knees, enough to bring your hands to the mat, and separate your feet about 3 feet apart. Your feet are wider than a normal forward fold, but turn your toes in more than your heels. So notice how they're not parallel to each other, they're turned in a little bit. Now relax again. You don't have to be touching the floor. If you're up here on your fingertips, that's totally fine as well.
Wherever you are, just relax. Notice how this pose feels to your head, neck, and shoulders. Walk your hands over towards your left foot. You don't have to be grabbing your ankle. If you're up here, that's fine. Just walk your hands towards your left foot and breathe. Walk your hands over towards your right foot. Breathe as deep as you can here. Walk your hands back to center. You can have your hands on the mat, or if you need to use a prop, put your hands on the prop. Keep your right hand where it is. Reach your left hand up towards the ceiling and breathe. On your exhale, replace your left hand onto the mat or prop. Inhale, reach your right hand up. Exhale, replace the right hand. Heel toe your feet back together into a normal forward fold, and then sit all the way onto your bottom. This next pose, we're going to need the wall and the block, or your other prop. To do legs up the wall, you're going to lay with your legs up the wall, as implies the name, and just put your legs right up against the wall. You don't have to be flat against the wall. You can be a couple inches away. It's just whatever your preference is on how sharp of an angle you want your body to be. Now you're going to take your block and place your block underneath your sacrum. So try not to have it under your low back. That will hurt. Have it underneath your sacrum, and this will give you a little bit more elevation. This is increasing the inversion here. If you've done legs up the wall before and it's just been plain and simple like this, that's totally okay. If you want to take it up a notch, get a belt or something similar and kind of wrap your legs together. That way you won't have to worry about your legs slowly separating over the course of a couple minutes. Another thing that feels good is to put a sandbag on top of your feet. If you don't have a sandbag at home, that's okay. Place like a bag of beans or a bag of rice. That little bit of extra weight on your feet will feel really nice. You might need a friend to help you out with that. I think books stacked would also work. It just might be more of a balancing act, so you guys experiment with that and tell me if it works in the comments below. Whenever you're comfortable, reach your arms out into a T. Remember, your gaze goes straight up. Don't turn your head from side to side. And just relax here. So throughout class, we've been focusing on our upper body, noticing how our head, neck, and shoulders feel. While you can do that in this pose as well, I think this is a good opportunity to focus on our legs. So in this pose, our legs, as well as our heart and the rest of our body, are all above our head. So if you've been on your feet all day, if you've had a long day, maybe you work in retail or a grocery worker, one of those essential workers, thank you for your hard work. This is a great pose for you because all the blood right now, or not all of it, a significant amount of blood right now is draining down your legs, which is really good for decompressing all of those swollen joints. So the blood from your legs and your torso, everything is going up towards your head, but it's not an extreme pose. This is a very passive pose as opposed to all the other active inversions we've been doing. So this is a great rejuvenating pose. This is a pose that you will likely feel alert and awake afterwards. If you ever don't have time for a nap or you're just feeling kind of groggy in the middle of the day,
taking a couple of minutes, even 10 to 20 minutes of doing this legs up the wall pose will really help give you an energy boost for the rest of your day. So I recommend trying it as a little experiment one day. Let's take 3 more deep breaths here, really focusing on how your body feels, whatever part of your body you want to focus on. When you're finished, bring your feet up against the wall, bend your knees, lift your hips off that block and set your hips back down. You can hug your knees in towards your chest, kind of rock from side to side, maybe draw circles. Whenever you're finished, lay all the way onto your back, just flat on the mat, in our final resting pose of Shavasana. So here you can get really comfortable, put some blankets or pillows around you, on you, whatever feels good. If you can turn off the lights, go for it. Whenever you're comfy, close your eyes. I'm sitting up so I can talk to you, but please stay laying on the mat. Take a moment to notice how your mind and your body feel right now. Notice if there's a difference between this moment and the beginning of class. You can let those thoughts go. Bring your awareness to your body resting on the mat. Feel your feet, and with every exhale, invite your feet to relax. Bring your awareness to your legs. Feel your lower legs, knees, and upper legs. With every exhale, invite your legs to relax. Bring your awareness to your hips. With every exhale, invite your hips to relax. Bring your awareness to your torso. Feel your back resting along the mat. Feel the muscles of your abdomen release. Feel the rise and fall of your chest with every breath. With every exhale, invite your torso to relax. Bring your awareness to your arms. Feel your upper arms, your lower arms, and hands. With every exhale, invite your arms to relax. Bring your awareness to your head and neck. Feel the muscles in your neck release. Soften your jaw, your cheeks. Feel your eyelids grow heavy. Feel the back of your head resting on the mat. With every exhale, invite your head and neck to relax. Your legs are growing heavy and sinking deeper into the mat. Your torso is growing heavy and sinking deeper into the mat. Your arms are growing heavy and sinking deeper into the mat. Finally, your head is growing heavy and sinking deeper into the mat. For the next couple of breaths, breathe as though your entire body breathes as one. Every cell in unison. Now begin to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. When you're ready, roll onto your side in the fetal position. Pause for a moment in gratitude for yourself, for showing up today and putting in the effort. You just did something so good for your mind, body, and soul. Now make your way into an easy seated pose. Let's inhale, reach your hands up one more time for a big stretch. Exhale, bring your hands back to heart center, where we'll end our class together by saying namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for meditation class today. I hope you enjoyed this special class, and stay tuned for next week's class, which will be a summer solstice meditation class special. Don't forget to check out the description below for this week's quote of the week, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.